Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Today we have a very good problem for you guys. We're going to be talking about convert 1D array into 2D array, right? So let's quickly jump into the problem, right? So it says we're given a zero index one dimensional array, right? Called original, and two integers m and n, right? We're tasked with creating a two-dimensional array with m rows and n columns, right? Using all of the elements from original. Okay, very good so far. The elements from indices 0 to n minus 1 are inclusive of original, right? The original array should be the first row of the constructed 2D array, right? And the elements from n to 2n minus 1, right, should be the second row, and then so on and so forth, right? So we turn an m by n 2D array constructed according to the above procedure, or an empty 2D array if possible, right? So pretty interesting, right? So the problem statement is pretty concise, not concise, but it's pretty simple, right? So what they're saying, right, we're just going to be given a one-dimensional array, right? Simple array that we used to, right? And then we need to return a two-dimensional array, right? You know, and the dimensions of that would be m by n, right? So there should be m rows and n columns, right? We should be n columns, right? So that's kind of what we need to do here, okay? So let's quickly get into it, guys, right? So let's go to a couple of examples to solidify the ask, right? So you see we're given a bunch of elements right there, right? Okay. And we need to construct a two-dimensional array, right? Which of 2 by 2, guys, right? So exactly what we do, right? We put the first n numbers, right? And the first row, right? Which is what we're seeing here, guys, right? Put the first n numbers in the first row, right? And then put the second set of n numbers in the second row, right? And then so on and so forth, right? So that's what we do. We get the first two numbers, right, which is n, and then we get the other set of set of two numbers, right? And we put them in the second one, right? And then we were able to put all the numbers and the 2D, right? And the 2D array, right? All the cells were occupied, right? There's no empty cells, and we had just enough, right? And that's exactly what we need. We need just enough, guys, right? There should be no surplus of cells or any shortage of cells, right, to put all the numbers that we get in the original array, guys, right? So let's go to the second example. You can see, right? So we need to get so it says that we can only have one row of 3 columns, right? So we just put all the 3 numbers in the first row, and then we are good, right? No, we have just enough, right? No, which is exactly what we need. So this one is the same example here. A different example, right? So we need one column of 1 row, right? But I have 2 numbers, so how's that possible? So I can only have 1 cell, right? And I can only put 1 number, right? So I don't have enough, right? So it's impossible to fit just the numbers, so we return an empty array, guys, right? So pretty simple, as you can tell. Okay, so now how do we approach this problem, guys, right? You know, so how we're going to approach it is going to be straightforward. So what we're going to do is to so we know that we need to make sure, well, first check that we need to do, right? Just check the size, right? Size is very important, guys, right? So given an array, right, you know, and we given those parameters as well, right, we can quickly identify if we have enough space, right, or if we have the exact amount of space that we need to fit all of those numbers into the 2D array that they want, guys, right? So if there's a shortage or there's a surplus, right, because there should be no empty cells as well, right? And it needs to fit the whole thing. Every cell should be occupied by a number, right? So if I have like n numbers, right, 4, right, then the size of this should be, you know, there could be different things that we could do. I could do a 2 by 2 or 4 by 1, right? Another combination I don't know about, right? But yeah, so it needs to like match this, right? So the way to quickly do that, right, you know, to see if I have enough, right, I could multiply the number of rows times the number of columns, right? Multiply them together. It tells me the amount of elements that I can store in that 2D, right? Pretty easily, right? 2 by 2, I can store 4 elements, right? And choose exactly, I have 4 elements here, so I can fit it into the 2D array that I'm creating, guys, right? So same thing here. We could do a quick check, right? We do 3 times 1, 3, right? I could fit 3 numbers. How many numbers do I have? I have 3. I have exactly what I need, right? So we do that, right? So after it passes that, that slash check, right? What's next for us to do would be to now start to populate the 2D matrix, guys, right? We just do a linear loop, not a linear loop. We just loop, right? We need to loop through every row, and for every row, we're going to populate it with numbers, guys, right? So like we were saying earlier, right? For every row, we need to loop every row, right? You know, of m times, right? And then we need to, for every row, we need to loop through the n columns, right? To populate those that 2D matrix, that 2D array that I'm creating, guys, right? So it's exactly what we're going to do, guys, right? You could already tell the time complexity, right? So what we're going to do, guys, we're going to do a quick check here. And len is going to go original. Okay, get the length over here, right? And then we're going to do a check, right? If m times n, right, does not equal to the length of the array, right? Then, right, you know, the length of this array, guys, right? I'm doing, right? Because I need the exact amount, right? Not no surplus or, right? If I can fit all the numbers in there, right? Exactly. Then what we're gonna do, if it's not the case, right, then we're gonna return an empty 2D array, guys, right? So now we are able to do that, right? So we're gonna just populate through, right? So we know that we're gonna do a simple for loop, right? Like I said, with the approach, for every loop, for every column, right? So let's go ahead and do it real quick. And I equal to 0, I less than m, right? Because we do it m times for every column, I plus plus, right? And then we have an inner one that's gonna help us to iterate through all the columns, right? J less than n, which is the number of columns, j plus plus, right? And then we need to have our construct our output result, right? You know? Okay. So what we're gonna do is gonna be of size m, n, right? And then, guys, what we're gonna do is just do res. So now we just populate every cell, guys, right? And for every ij, right? I represents the column, the row, and then j represents the column, right? That's what I meant to say. And then we're just going to populate, guys, right? So original, right? So you're probably tempted. So what can we do? Do we put I there? Do we use any formula? No, we're just going to use an index, guys, at a pointer, right? To help us to iterate through the original array itself, right? It's one dimensional, right? You know, so you're just going to be just index straight up, right? Because, you know, we just go ahead. So we could think about it, right? First row, right? We try to populate and we get the first n numbers, guys, right? So every time we just keep incrementing the pointer. So we do 0, we put 0 there. So 0, 0, we put 1 right here. And then, right, we put the second number, we do index plus plus, and then we go to 1. And then 2, we put 2 at I still 0, right? And j now, right, it should be 1, guys, right? And then we put it there, right? And then we reach the maximum that we could put at this row, right? And then we go up there again, right? And then I becomes 1. We go to the second row, and the index should be at pointing at 2 now, right? And then we do the same thing 3, right? Just like that, guys, right? We're able to do it. So for every row we get n things from there, right? That's what I'm doing here, right? N elements, and we do that for every row. And then we return, guys, right? The answer to the color. I think we should be in good shape. Let's press submit. Awesome, guys. We're about to pass all the test cases, guys. If you guys found value, you guys enjoyed the way that it made this video, let me know in the comment section. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe because we'll be doing a lot of other videos just like this one. So I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.